when I need to deliver, and it'll be done.
All right. Destiny.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello. Just. You would never work with a man like myself or a man on my level. You no way. I mean, let me do this real quick. Look, hold on. Let me just tell you. You're cute. And you're probably used to getting by on your looks. But that ain't special, sweetheart.
Okay.
And you cannot step to a man who's got his shit together, who's going somewhere in life, thinking you're the prize.
Okay.
Your attitude is wrong.
Wrong.
And you're looking for a quick fix. Deal with men on your emotional level because you're not a woman. You're still in the girl phase. Girls need boys. Women need men. That's why I try to cut it down because even the way you're asking questions is out of line. And I'm trying not to check you because you're young. You're out of line for what it is you want. You don't qualify for it. If you didn't look the way you thought, the way you look, and you wouldn't be asking for what you're asking for. You'd be asking for a regular guy.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
It's still going. Go ahead, Destiny. You can ask a question so I can be done with it. Go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead, young lady, ask your question. And I'll get on to Destiny. Go ahead.
I don't want to be a little girl who needs a little boy. What do you recommend I do to qualify for the men that I want?
This is where the school's going to come into play. You guys are going to have to learn how to do all this stuff because unfortunately you didn't learn when you were at home in the community. You didn't learn it. So I don't begrudge you, but where'd you go to college?
Didn't go.
You didn't go?
No, sir.
All right. Well, so you graduated high school?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you live?
I live in Los Angeles.
With who? Do you live by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Who you live with?
By myself.
All right. You're going to have to go to school for it. Because I don't know, you didn't learn it. And I don't want to get too much further into it. You didn't go to college. That's a whole range of people around your age and dating that you missed out on. So going straight from high school, it's going to be really hard for a high school. I mean, so it's going to be real hard for a high school graduate to be talking about a man in the top 5% of earners. There's a lot of stuff. And if you want that, I don't know why you want it other than the fact is you don't want to work, but you don't get it just because you want it. You have to earn it and deserve it before you get it.
I'm going to college.
Yeah, see, there's like this certain level of immaturity and the lack of understanding in which she just can't understand. She just can't grasp it. It's tough. She doesn't have that maturity yet. She doesn't have that ability to properly discern and to break things down and have a compass that's going to lead her in the right direction. She doesn't have that yet. She doesn't have that ability. And it's partly because, yes, she is young, but even that, this woman is coming in and her spirit seems very dimmed. And like, she's like one of those women that drag her hands on the ground as she walks and drags her feet and looks down and kicks rocks. There's no life there. There's no excitement. It sounds like it's all a dark hole that she's just positioned herself to sit in.
Please state your name.
I'm doing great. I just woke up from a coma. I'm several light years from my apartment.
But notice this. When she was speaking about the time that she dated this white man, she said that I couldn't be myself. I couldn't be like, themselves and act a bit erratic and, joke. And it's funny because she didn't even seem like even half of that person in this school. But notice this. When it comes to the white boyfriend, she stood in line. Because she know they don't play that. She knows that a woman is not going to come in, especially from another race, having all the stereotypes that we have on us and act just like those things. So women like that will give a totally different side to that man. But guess what? If she gets a black man, right, or a man of any other race, she's going to expect to be herself fully and act immature. So with the white man, she won't act immature. She'll stay in line. Any other race, she's going to act immature. She's going to want to be herself. She's going to want to be outgoing, laughing, making jokes. Like Kevin said, these men are serious. They're not going to be playing around. They don't have time for you to be being an outcast. But again, as Kevin said, this woman doesn't qualify for a man of that stature. She doesn't. Even some of the questions that she's asking, you can tell that she isn't primed to be in that position. She's not there.
You were saying?
Never mind. I don't know anything. Never mind. Again. Never mind.
I don't understand, ma'am. You were talking about high value men and confidence.
I just was saying, once upon a time, because I'm 33, so it's like I met quite a few men in my time. It's just the type of guys that I actually like. If when I get them, I don't know, it's like, I believe, it's not saying that I believe, I know it's a confidence thing. It's like, it's not that I can't obtain it or I can't get it. It's
What do you mean by high value? What do you mean by what do you mean by high value? You talking about the kind of money these guys make?
Just, it's actually sort of not even about the money, it's about the mentality. I like alphabet. I really
You like alphabet?
My thing.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I have one son.
Okay.
And I had him at 27. I'm 33.
And high value men tend to make on the higher side of the income bracket too.
If this is true, I'm not denying that.
So you're looking for a man that's like a six-figure guy?
You don't have to be 6 figures. All I'm saying is that I just want someone that has class, that has value, basically.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. It's not even about a money thing.
Well, where's the father of your
It's
child?
about the money.
He's around. He helps. He takes care of his son. There's nothing wrong with that. He's definitely not the issue. He's a good person. He's a good person.
Well, why aren't you guys together?
All I can say.
Was he a high value man? Was he a high value man?
Very value. He's value.
No. No.
Very.
He was. Say again. He was very value.
He's in my eyes, to me, he's value. He has his stuff together. He's a good man. He's a great man. But
So, but if he's a high value man and he's a great man in your eyes and has his stuff together, and you already have a baby with him, why are you out here trying to find another one? Why don't you just get with the one you got?
I mean, he said that I was too good for him, like I was too nice, basically.
Okay.
He, in my he prefer more girls of time on the hood side. I'm not exactly that. I like the whole conversations. I like to learn things. I like to do things. He's not quite that type of person, which I.
So why did you give him? Hold on. Then why did you give him a baby?
Well, honestly, I kept him because I honestly.
Why did you give him a? No. You gave this man a child, and I'm asking you, why'd you have a baby with this man if he wasn't? See, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Why'd you have a kid with a man who ain't worth being with?
But he's wonderful to breed.
Honestly, I had a kid because I didn't want to have an abortion, and I was old enough and kind of doing, good enough to have him. I mean, we were good, but once the baby came, he just kind of flipped. I don't want to. He kind of flipped.
All right, ma'am. The reason I asked you is because you came on talking about confidence and changing and high value and you're all over the place. Let's not get. And again, another one. Well, you can't answer. The question you were answering, ma'am, is see, when your life is chaotic like this, it's hard for people to take your opinion seriously. Like these people calling in to get advice, and they're listening to a woman who says she confidence and this and that and can change, but you're not doing it in your own life. I want a high value man. I want an alpha male. All right. What about your ex? Well, he's a good man and great character. Why aren't you with him? Well, because he ain't that. What?
Well, no.
No, ma'am, no. I've heard enough. I heard what you had to say. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's okay. But I would say this: high value men have something to do with income first, and men of a certain status do not want to be a stepfather to a woman who is a baby mama. You're not a widow. You're not a divorcee. You're a single. I don't call them single mothers. I call them baby mamas. And high value men do. Well, you call into the show. So, see, here's the problem. When a lot of women like yourself speak on high value men like you've had them, and you haven't, you make it seem common. You did not have a high value man, but you tried to say like you did. And like you're a woman on that level, and you're not. That's a problem. Just be who you are and embrace it.
I understand what you're saying, but listening to your other shows versus white collar and all that stuff, when I think of a high value man, whether it's white collar or blue collar, I just think of men that you're not saying that my son's father wasn't a good person or whatever. I should have left when I had a chance, which is true.
But you had a baby with him. You had a baby with him. And what did he do for a living? What was his job? What was his job?
Well, he's in construction, welding, but it's like same job. Like
So he was not fully employed, ma'am. He was not fully employed. You said temp jobs. That means not, ma'am, not fully employed, meaning 2,000 hours a year. Temp job meaning not fully. He was not fully
Temp
employed.
job. What?
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, it's his job to keep the power on. That's why he chooses Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call, click, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now with Cox Internet and Mobile, the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years, guaranteed. And you'll get Wi-Fi equipment included at no extra cost. It's more of what you want and none of what you don't. Learn more at cox.com/value.
You're not bringing what you
I know you're not. I'm just getting the facts. I'm just getting the stuff straight. You were dealing with a man. You were having unprotected sex with a man who was not fully employed. And you had a child by a man who was not fully employed. He may be a nice guy. I'm certainly not going to run him down. I don't do that. But what I'm saying is men are looking at the chaotic details of a woman's life, and they're like, high value. A man with standards will not touch this. And it sounds like the man you're talking about that you have a child with did not even meet your minimum qualifications, your standard for you to stay. So how are you talking about high value?
Sir, I take my faults. I understand completely what you're saying. Like I said, I did have a child by a man. The man you had a child with is not even up to your minimum standard for you to remain with him. This was 5 years ago. I'm not giving no excuse. Like I said, when I had a chance to leave, I should have left. I'm sorry. Let's do that again. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. We have so many women running around talking about high value this, high value that. You don't have no high value, man. He ain't even have no value for you to stay with him. I'm tired.
It's so funny because at the ending of this conversation, this woman sat there and said, it was 5 years ago. And also, I'm not trying to make any excuses. But that's literally what she's doing. The man that she was with wasn't a high value man. So what she's going to try to do now is convince everyone else that the man that she's pushed his DNA, or his legacy, his DNA, his genetics, push that into the next generation. And then she's going to sit here and try to convince us that he was high value. So it gives her the appearance that anyone she should be dealing with after is high value. And that's completely incorrect. Completely incorrect. She didn't even do things the proper way. She didn't get married. She didn't ask for the most basic form of commitment. Because now we live in a world where having a child is less serious than being married. At least a marriage, you can at least break and you guys can go your separate ways and no one is going to be tied to you for the rest of your life. Once you have a child with someone, you guys are tied, bonded together for life. So how could having a child be less serious than being married? And you don't get to deal with no bum. Come out to the market older with a child and then think a man of any type of stature, status is going to deal with you. Seriously, not seriously at least. Have you riding a CC? Possible. You getting his last name and being married and getting benefits and being that person, highly unlikely. Highly unlikely.
Hello? Hey.
My question is, how can
What's your first
a younger Destiny?
Okay, go ahead.
How can a younger woman like me connect with an older guy? I was in
How old are
the 26.
Okay. Connect with an older guy?
Yeah, I was dating a guy. He told me he was 35, but he ended up being 42. And the relationship just ended. So I just kind of felt like once I knew his age, I really couldn't connect with him, and I just didn't know.
Why?
I just feel like
Let me, how old was he? 45?
he told me he was 35, but he ended up being 42.
So he was all 9 years old. He told you he was. So
He told me he was 35.
And you're 26.
Yes.
So he told you he was 9 years older than you. Okay. So how old is where's your dad?
He's not in my life.
Exactly. Tell her what she wins, Bob. She wins a list of daddy issues. Because women worldwide tend to prefer to date older men because older men tend to have already got all the game and stuff out of our system. We tend to be ready for a relationship. You got time to get out here and work and acquire resources. So, yeah. But if you didn't have a dad in your life, it's hard to look at a man, see what a man was supposed to do. What's the oldest man? Outside this last guy, what's your longest relationship?
A year and a half.
And how long ago was that?
That was two years ago.
And why did you guys break up?
I found out he had someone else.
He was cheating?
Yes.
How did you find that out?
I was just over his place and she showed up.
What'd she say?
Who are you? it was a big mess, and I'm just like, I just don't need it. I feel like I'm young enough to move on. And
so what's the oldest man you want to date?
I would say 35, and I think that's why he said it.
Okay. And do you want to be married?
We do.
All right. Do you want to have children one day?
I absolutely do. Yes.
How many?
4 or 3.
Okay. And what city do you live in?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Midwest. So, do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child?
I would say, yeah. I realize that we live in a world that it's almost required nowadays to live comfortably. So I wouldn't mind. I would definitely do that.
I said, do you want to have to still?
I don't want to have to, but I know realistic, I would.
Here's the problem with that answer. Most relationships break up. Money is cited as a problem, and women who say they wouldn't mind really do mind. And I'm just trying to ask you, what do you want? You mean you want to work until you're pregnant? You want to be on your feet, working through the eighth month and 2 weeks. Then you want to take off the last 2 weeks, go into labor, have a child, and then 12 weeks after you have that child, you want to go back to work. And then you want to do that again and get pregnant 3 to 6 months in the line, and then do that again. And then another 3 to 6 months, get pregnant and do that again.
Yeah,
3 kids in daycare.
I have a profession between photography and massage that I can take my kids with me.
Oh shit! There we go. Where are you at? Massage therapist. God damn it! Are you an actress too? Yes.
No, I said photography and massage.
So you don't have a real job. You don't have a real job. Sorry, man. My ex-wife was a massager. You don't have a real job. Sorry, man. I'm just getting. I know what I'm talking about. So all this, you don't mind working. You ain't trying to work anyway. Let's get right to the rubber meets the road. How much would a man need to be able to make to support a family and a wife with 3 kids?
Yeah, 250, maybe in the Midwest.
Okay, it's closer to 350, but that's all right.
Haven't tried new Parmesan stuffed crust? Sign in or sign up for Domino's Rewards to get one for 50% off.
I'm still trying to be stuck on the fact that you're okay with working. I don't really believe that. I just don't. But I'll take it. But the thing is, you don't have a profession where you're going into work. So when you're thinking of work, you mean you would be all right trying to get deep tissue massages at 8 months pregnant?
That's what I would do for more photography work.
You're hoping you would do more photography. How much money have you made as a photographer?
Around 30,000.
Over what period of time?
A year.
$30,000 in 1 year. How much did you make as a massage therapist?
I'm still getting into that right now.
All right. So you're living on $30,000 a year.
Well, I also have a main job with doing post office, but yeah.
No, you said okay. How much do you make annually?
I make plus the.
Y'all hit the subscribe button. What y'all doing? Whoa. 3 o'clock in the morning.
What's your main job?
Post office.
Hit that like button too.
Government work.
Yes.
All right. Why is all this relevant, man? Because I need to understand it. How long have you been working for a post office?
I've been doing that for about 5 years now.
All right. So, are you in the office? You a letter carrier? What kind of stuff we talking about?
Letter carrier.
All right. Man, I find it hard to believe you want to be pregnant, carrying letters at 8 months pregnant. And do you know anybody with children? Do you know anybody with kids?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends with kids.
How much is newborn care monthly?
Say it again.
How much is newborn care monthly? Like daycare, that kind of stuff. How much is that?
I know some people I've spoken to say it's about maybe 300, 200 a week, so roughly around almost 1,000.
For newborn care? Do some Google searching, but I think your number is low.
No, I wouldn't think
Remember,
so.
I have a kid. I know the business sometimes. I didn't ask you questions. I don't ask questions I don't know the answer to. I just say, I want you to go find it out yourself. But anyway, let's see. It sounds admirable, but if 3 kids in the Midwest, you're going to, if you're still looking for somebody to make $250,000 to supplement your income or whatever you're making, how much would you want to have to make annually in addition to your husband's income? How about that?
I want to make 100K.
What percentage of women in this country make $100,000 a year? What percentage of women in this country make $100,000 or more annually?
I'm not sure.
Guess.
Roughly 60.
See what I mean, guys? Women don't know cost. 3% of women in this country make 3% of women in this country make $100,000 or more. And you say 60?
I'm almost there.
You just skipped over something that was very important to tell me how close you are. 3 to 4% of women in this country make 6 figures. And you're saying you're almost there. Congratulations, but and I mean no disrespect to what I'm about to say. I really need you to understand I mean no disrespect. But the bulk of your income comes from unskilled labor. It comes because you're employed by the federal government. You didn't negotiate that salary. You didn't go get any special skills to earn that money. You apply for a well-paying job with government benefits. If you were to lose that job, do you have the skills to make $100,000 a year?
Hit that subscribe button.
And the answer is no.
Hit that like button.
That's what I need you to understand.
Don't you like me?
And I need everybody to understand what your skills are worth. So I think you need to rearrange
Yeah, chill working
your
tonight.
idea of what money is, because thinking women are that making that much money is incredible. And why it's all important is because how old would a man need to be making around $250,000 a year?
I would say upper 30s.
Upper 30s.
30, 40s.
Right. So, again, if you want a man who's a higher earner, you have to deal with older men.
And that's why I called in, just to see the connection. Can there be a connection with dating an older guy? Because we have totally different interests.
The thing is, you're going to have to get on his. Well, the thing is, the connection is not it's for you to get on his plane. He's the commodity. He's the prize in this scenario. He's the catch, because he's the one that will be carrying the bulk of the financial load for the family.
Not you.
Right? So, I don't care about love and chemistry or anything like that. Marriage is impractical. It's a practical thing. It's a business. So what you're talking about makes no sense to me, especially when you start putting financial restraints on it. Are you used to men chasing you?
No. I think that these last two have been, they went after me. But no, I'm not used to it.
See, and what I said about getting it's a woman's job to look and see how she can nest in a man's situation. It's my job to provide a place for you to nest. I mean, if a man's having to go out and make $250,000, $300,000 a year, he's putting in hard work, long hours. He doesn't have time to try to romance you and all that kind of stuff. He's putting in 12, 14-hour days. And this is one of the problems. I think so many of you young ladies really don't know what it takes to make the kind of money you're talking about. I think the kind of money you're talking about is a lot more available and easy. Case in point, you think 60% of women, I thought that was a reasonable number to say, 60% of women in the country make over $100,000. Then where are the poor women if the majority of women are making over six figures?
Hit that like button.
You see what I mean? And at 26, you should have a far more grown-up look on life and relationships. If you want to have a middle-class standard of life, and due respect, you didn't go to college, right?
Yes, I did.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
And you went to work at the post office?
Yeah, I was going into management.
What's your degree in?
Accounting.
How much student loan debt are you in?
I'm not in much. Roughly 10,000.
Okay. Why did you use
10,000
your
ain't
degree?
bad.
I just couldn't really get into anything, and that was an easy.
You graduated on time?
Did I graduate on time? No.
When year did you graduate?
2015.
years, man. You graduated on time, roughly. So in 5 years, you couldn't find an accounting job?
No, I couldn't.
That's bullshit.
No.
Stop.
No,
Listen. You went to college to get a degree for nothing, man. And this is where dad is so important. There's no way in hell you should go to college, get a degree in accounting to go work at the post office. See, if you told me I couldn't get a job right out of school and I needed to pay bills, that's one thing. But you should have still been looking for an entry-level accounting job anywhere. But you took the easy way, the government money. But unfortunately, man, that means 0 on your resume. If they were to lay you off next month, you would be an entry-level worker anywhere. You wasted 5 years of employment time. I get it. The money is probably more at the post office than you could have made as an entry-level accountant. But that's short term. See, if you had been doing entry-level accounting stuff, you could have actually been in a position to run accounting out of your home, or bookkeeping or something like that. Non-physical labor that you could do for a husband or a business. Not physical labor as a massage therapist. Not creative work that's extremely competitive and low-end like photography. See, this is the difference with what a lot of non-black people do. Women are actually saying, you know what, I'll have a degree that can actually work for someone, but I can also translate and work from home as a housewife. Or if my husband owns a business, I can be his bookkeeper, but you have no experience in that. And women, that's a gap. That's where men are so important, because we don't allow you to just get out here and flutter around like you guys are doing, just because the money is better.
Motherfucker flying.
You're absolutely right now.
I know. So, when did you stop looking for a job in accounting?
For a while, once I.
So you didn't even try, man. You stopped trying.
Right.
Okay. So what I need you to hear is the kind of man you're talking about is a man that's driven. The top 5% of men in this country earn the kind of money you're talking about. The top 5%. And you're saying that I work at the post office. I'm a massage therapist trying to be. I'm working at the post office. I'm a photographer, and I'm trying to become a massage therapist. And you're talking to a man who's structured, disciplined, and a high earner, and your stuff is all over the place. That's why when you said it, I already did 3 broadcasts on women that high value men overweight, and it's because of this chaotic, kind of flighty mindset. Men like the guys I described cannot see how you would be an asset to him. What could he turn over to you? Even if you had a business, what could he turn over to you? What could you run for the business, for the family?
Nothing.
So,
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, why are you becoming a massage therapist?
It's a business that is in my family, and eventually it's going to be passed down to me. I'm a spa, so just going to get into that trade.
Somebody already owns the business?
Yes.
Who?
My mom.
Can't make this shit. So, you're going to go get a license with the state. How much is an hour massage in your city?
The average massage would be on the high end 80, so around 60, 75.
Yeah, 60, 75 for massage envy. $45, 45 to 50 massage envy. So you have to, man, my ex-wife was this, and I'm telling you, It's not a profitable business. It's a business of flexibility. So, this is fine as a single woman. Ghost office, photographer, massage, but you don't have something like you even have time to date with all this other stuff going on. Yeah, I would say book a session. There's too much going on here. I mean, but I don't foresee this ending well. Especially if your mom is a massage therapist.
No,
Do you have any sisters?
she owns a spa. Yeah, I own a sister. She just moved down to Dallas.
Right. And where are all the men in your family?
My two brothers are, one just came back.
How old is
28, and then one is 25.
They're not men yet. You got a bunch of book a session. Because if you don't correct this ship and get a course, a ditch is very likely in the future. Because it sounds to me like you have a family full of creatives and no male structure. I've seen this picture before many times. Many, and it doesn't end well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You know, this was the classic case of when you leave people to their own devices, they tend to self-destruct. When you have a lack of a male presence, when you have a lack of leadership, when you have a lack of practicality, all of these things are missed out on. And this is why fathers are so important in households. Because at least if a father is there, maybe an uncle, maybe a brother, someone that's a bit older, they would be able to properly give the right instructions or give the right path for someone. But once you're left to your own devices and you start making decisions, those decisions tend to not align with exactly what they want out of life. If you want a family, if you want to have some type of structure, you want to be able to do these type of nice things like go away on vacation and eat out at restaurants and things like that. There's no structure given. There's no instructions given. They're just doing whatever they want. They're walking around not knowing how much it's going to cost. They're walking around not knowing how to prioritize the person that's going to provide it for them. You have no information, but again, you just expect it to work. You just expect to snap your fingers together or slap your hands together and something is just going to appear from the sound. It's not going to. There needs to be more structure. There needs to be more presence. There needs to be more of a masculine presence and leadership to show these women this is how you get things. This is what you should be worried about. This is what you need to think about. And there's not enough of that. So many are just doing whatever they want, expecting to get the same outcomes as people who's putting in the work. But everyone, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Hello, Amber. How are you?
Good, how are you?
How old are you?
22.
22?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me turn your microphone down because you're kind of loud up in this mug. What's no problem. No, shit. So what did I get wrong?
I don't really think you got anything wrong. I just had I wanted to clarify something.
Okay.
So I noticed that you tend to take the most issue with women who approach you and they say they want someone who will take them out of work, basically will take care of them, and they don't have any idea of like how much that would cost them or how much they would have to get to that position. So me personally, I don't necessarily
50% off Stanley drinkware, $200 off Callaway irons and tailor-made drivers.
I just asked you, do you know what it's going to require to get it?
Yeah.
And then I do have an issue when somebody wants a Mercedes and they got money for a bicycle.
Right.
That's reasonable.
Right. But my question to that would be, me personally, I don't necessarily want somebody to like take me out of the game. I don't see myself like necessarily ever not having an income. Like even if I were to be with a man who makes $500,000 a year, I would still
Okay.
Let me just.
Okay, here's what I need to do. Turn off the YouTube channel. Stop watching yourself. Because I'm getting background noise. I'm just a YouTube channel in the background. Okay, so at 22 years old, do you want to get married?
Yes.
Do you want to? How many children do you want?
I have like 8 kids. I love kids.
8 children?
Yeah, I just want to keep. You know Kiki Wyatt? I want to do what she's doing.
Okay. And Kiki who?
Kiki Wyatt?
Yeah.
The singer?
And who's she married to?
I'm not sure.
Right. But you want 8 children. How much does it cost to raise the average child in the United States of America?
I think it was $200,000. It was either $200,000 or $20,000.
Excuse me?
It was either $200,000 like throughout their lifetimes, or like $20,000. It was like in that 2 range.
Right. And right, $200,000. So you want $1.6 million in children. That's what you want. 8 children times 200,000 is $1.6 million. What do you do for a living?
I am a microbiologist.
So you're broke.
I would consider that.
Okay. What do you work for?
I work for a pharmaceutical company.
How much do you make a year?
I make $50,000 a year.
Where do you live? What city?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay, you're not broke. You're middle class.
Yeah.
$50,000 a year. Can you afford 1 child?
Yes.
You can afford 1 child at $50,000. Can you afford 2?
Probably no.
All right. But at 41 child, would you have a home or an apartment?
With 1 child on $50,000, I would more than likely have an apartment.
Right. And is that how we think we should be raising kids?
No.
So we're gonna keep on moving, man. $50,000 is enough for one woman to live a single young woman's life in an apartment. But it's not enough to live a successful life where you can buy a home, travel, have savings, have insurance, have investments, have life insurance, have all the things that get people out of paycheck to paycheck and lead to a generational wealth. 8 children, you would need a man making how much money?
And you said at least one.
No. You said one. In order to have 3 children, you need a guy making around $350,000. So you need to have a man that's $1 million for 8 children. And then this the numbers. What if you trimmed it back in St. Louis? It's not mathematically directional proportional. So closer to around $800,000 to make sure that every child has their room. Every kid when they turn 16 will have access to a car or vehicle. If there's some overlap, every child could go to college of their choice if they wanted to. The daughters could have their weddings paid for. The kids could have some sort of starter fund, so so. Will you ever make that kind of money in your lifetime with a microbiology degree?
No, not.
Right. So, how tall are you?
5'7".
Dress size?
Size 6.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
148. 148.
Right. And what would you give yourself on a look scale? 1 to 10, 0 to 10, and cannot use 7?
I guess if you give me an unadjustable 6, I can be really pretty and I can be really bummed.
When's the last time you wore your hair?
Last month.
If you took, is that a wig or is that?
Yeah.
Okay. How long is your hair?
website, you can build a business. Personal trainers and private chefs. Showcase your signature offerings and experiences. Makeup artists and music teachers. Schedule classes and appointments with ease. And then, send weekly newsletters to keep in touch with your loyal customers.
Prefer to wear longer hair.
Yeah, but most high-value men don't like women with weave. So
Regular
in St.
dudes
Louis,
don't
how
like
many men
women
are
with
running
weave.
around? Do you want a black man or do you care?
I prefer black men.
So how many near millionaire black men are running around St. Louis?
None that I know of.
Right.
Yeah. But I was saying, to go back to negate what you were saying, but I was just asking, me personally, I don't, just off the idea of like somebody having like all of the burden on them, I would prefer to still have an income just to help my man. Or
Yeah, man, let me just bear knock this out. Kiki Wyatt, this woman with children, how many kids do you say she had?
I think she just had.
She's married in 2010 to Michael Jamar. Michael Ford, the ordained minister, the Wyatt family reality show. As 2013, they had 6 children, but 3 by her first. So she got 3 different baby daddies, actually 4 now. 4 different baby daddies. Now I gotta ask you, this is the woman you said you like what she's doing.
Oh, I didn't say it in that context.
No. You like her children, right?
Yeah.
But that's what you put out there. But why do you look up to a woman with 8 children by multiple men?
Well, me personally, I love kids.
Okay, but ma'am, why not say you looked up to Claire Huxtable? She had them all with her husband. Why would you look up to a woman with 8 children
So
by
dashing.
on a reality show?
Might have used a bad example.
Yeah, dark eye, yeah.
No,
They
it's
ain't
not.
got no
It's right.
good
It's kind of right
daggone
in line.
light.
It's kind of right in line with what you're talking about. You're in a fantasy world.
Fix it,
You're a
what?
microbiologist. You're a cute girl.
I'm swerving trying to read what you're saying.
Living in St. Louis. And you're running around here talking about 8 children. And
We out here dashing up these roads.
And you're out again?
22.
What's the longest relationship you've had?
2.5 years.
How long ago was that?
That ended in
Got some Kevin Sanders
December.
playing in the
Why did you
background.
guys get married?
We had some drama, outside drama, that kind of just made us have.
You have no children though, right?
No, we didn't have the kids.
Okay. Is your father in your life?
Yes.
Was your mother and father married?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to suggest, are you close to your dad?
Yes.
Does he help you vet and sort through the men you deal with?
No,
Well, that's a problem. Because if you've been with a guy for 2.5 years and you picked him, you're 22. You don't have a lot of time to keep playing around. You need to actually get your feet on the ground, get realistic about who you are, what's available to you out here, and make a decision.
What y'all out here doing?
Talking
Sleep or
about
working?
reality TV stars and kids and all this other kind of stuff, and you're not even. It sounds like you're still playing with Barbies. And this is where so many of our sisters get stuck. You keep doing this, we're gonna look up in 6 or 7 years from now. You're gonna be one of these eternal 7s that keep calling in my show, angry that they can't find a man, and ask him, why did you lose? Did you had a man in the back? And something was wrong. Was he in college too, the guy you were with?
He already graduated by the time we met.
Okay, so what's he doing with his life?
He's a project manager.
Who broke up with who?
It was a mutual agreement.
There's no mutual agreement, man. That's bullshit.
It was mutual.
That means you broke up with
Stop
him. There's no mutual stuff. There's nothing that happens that way in the real life. You know what? There's somebody who precipitates it. I don't care, man. Just be realistic. Do you still communicate with him?
Yes.
Yes. How long ago did you guys break up? You had sex after the breakup.
Yeah.
Get some counseling. Go get your man back. Go live a life.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can.
Thank you.
I'll leave it right there, man. I'm tired of seeing our young ladies just throw stuff away. Somebody could deal with you for 2.5 years. Again, what do I say? So many of our young women need to get off of social media. Keep quiet. What are we talking about here?
What is that?
Like I said, you may not like my approach, but where can you go? Where else are you gonna go to hear somebody tell you something that's close to being realistic, ladies? And I love it when you say, oh, well, you're just too harsh, you're too mean. Okay, see, there are plenty of men who would sit back and tell you, oh, go live your best life. Your man's gonna come along and Boaz is gonna find you. I'm not gonna tell you that because that's not realistic. That's not how life works. I'm gonna leave the line open because understand something. Far too many women want high value men, and what you're really saying is, I want the lifestyle your money can afford me. But yet, I'm not willing to do whatever. I'm not willing to even understand who you are. So that's what I think is most interesting. The people, the women who complain about my platform. And there's some. They complain about the way you talk to women, what you say to women, because I tell women the truth that high value men want them to know. But see, they don't seem to have any problem with, for all you women who want to tell me that the way you speak to women, you don't seem to have any problem with these women wanting to use high value men. You say, I hear what you're talking about, there's a woman on the other end, and a woman, her feelings are wrong. What about the man's feelings? What about what the man wants? These men are out in the world to make something of themselves. And do you think these men want to just sit around and be used?
Nope.
Women who have no idea what they want or nothing. 36 years old. And I deserve it. We have done a job on our women. You don't deserve anything. You earn it. Let me make this clear, black women. 51% of black men in the United States of America are single and childless. BlackDemographics.com. Go look for it yourself. Black statistics by black people, for black people.
Go look it up.
64% of black men are in the middle class. There are plenty of single, middle class, unmarried and childless black men. Despite all the in jail, DL, or whatever, plenty of them. But do you want them? Do you want them? And then you sit around, talking about, you deserve this, you deserve that. It's about work. If every black man in this country married a black woman tomorrow, there'd still be 2 million more black women that are single. This is blood sport, ladies. I'm telling you, if no one else told you, they've told you what you want to hear. You're a queen, you're this, you're that, you're fabulous. Just sit and wait. I'm telling you right now, your house is on fire and it's burning down. You better get competitive right now. You better get competitive and work because black men, this is really going to tick you off. Black men are your only real option. Oh, snap. Black men are your only real option. Because people of a race tend to marry of their same race. It's like saying Chinese men or Chinese women's only real option. Mexican men or Mexican women's only real option. Yes, there are people that marry out, but it's still never has gotten past 51%. The most you have is white men with Asian women. Kenneth, and another K name. Black man. You heard that woman, 36 years old. With men dying around her left and right, I wouldn't want to date you because I'd be afraid I'd be next. That woman's
Better internet than 5G? The search is over. Get Cox Internet for just $40 a month when you add Cox Mobile. It has faster, more reliable speeds than 5G home internet. Switch today.
average-looking woman, average, said she would not want an average-earning black man. Damn, that's messed up. But I'm harsh.
That is so true. Man, shout out to Kevin. You know, what Kevin really highlighted, most importantly, was that a lot of black women have to consider what the opposite gender wants. Because if you don't even care about it in black men, you won't care about it in any other race of man. You just, it's like the men, period, they disdain. Women like this just care about the outcome. They just want a man making a substantial amount of money. They want to have a ton of kids, and they don't know how they're going to get this person. They believe that a man of means and that has money and has his finances together is just going to pick them up, put them up in a house, and they will never have to work again while he just pays bills and she just lives her life. That is a Disney fairy tale. Chances are that average people will get with average people. And even if you have money, that's still not what men are attracted to. And the things that men are attracted to, women aren't giving because they believe that men are attracted to something else. They believe that men are attracted to the same things that they're attracted to. So if they're attracted to money, they believe men are attracted to money. That's not the truth. And again, I said, what are these things that men value? And that's not even that. When you peel the leg back again, are you ready for that? Are you what he wants? Can you provide that? Were you true? Were you raised to do that? Have you been trained to do these things? Do you even know where he's at? Do you know what to look for? They have none of these answers. But they just want it. They just want the lifestyle.
Jordan, unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi.
So, what do you think on the topic?
In regards to like what I bring to the table.
Yes. You can stay on.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Well, just a
Hit
little
that
context.
subscribe
I'm 21
button.
and I currently attend Emory, in Atlanta.
Get more
So I think what I bring to the
subscriptions.
table firstly is I'm very well connected. I have a very magnetic energy, able to network well, very adaptable, strong emotional intelligence, very graceful and very put together. And I definitely think my environment has contributed to that. So for me, that's my bring.
Okay. You said you're 21?
Yes, no, 20, sorry. I'm turning 21 in December.
Okay. You're young for this, so are you wanting to be married, have children, all that stuff?
I do.
Do you want to work after you're pregnant?
No, I don't think so. Not if I'm pregnant. I want to homeschool. So that's kind of my aspiration. Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel.
So, here in Atlanta,
We're looking for more
your mother
subscribers.
They were for 13 years.
So, are you actively dating anyone?
I'm not.
All right. So, the network you're talking about and things like that, I don't know what you're referring to, but at 20 years old, have you not wanting to work? That's a certain caliber of man. Do you date older men?
I have.
Okay. You have, and how old is the oldest man you dated?
Let's see, 24, 25.
And girl?
A little old for me at the
Subscribe.
It's still not working. Understand how the math works. Even if you want to work for a year or two, once the cat starts, you want to stop. So it means not working.
Right.
Just go ahead and say, I don't want to work. That's the way the math works.
A lot of Americans think they'll never afford a home, so lowering down payments to 1%. 1% down payments with One Plus from Rocket Mortgage. Get started at rocket.com.
At Domino's, we're all about cheesy, so you know we had to make our new 5-cheese mac and cheese the crave-worthiest, cheesiest pasta possible.
I don't want to.
Huh?
I don't want to.
You don't want to work?
No. Well, I do, but at the same time, I really want to homeschool. So.
All right. So what I'm saying is, you ladies need to stop being multi-minded. You need to just stand on what it is. I don't want to work. All right, then. How many kids? 3?
Yes, 3.
All right. So, what area of Atlanta? If you lived in Atlanta, what area of Atlanta would you like to live in?
Smoke detector.
At 5'7" and 145 pounds is the average size of a box. So just understand, boxes are around 145 pounds, 145 pounds. So go ahead. I mean, you don't want to live in Bankhead, do you?
Oh, absolutely not.
So let's get to it.
I would like to stay somewhere between Buckhead and the Emory area.
So right. And how much would a man need? What do you think a man would need to make to afford to live in Buckhead? Have a wife that stays home and can homeschool 3 children.
Yeah.
What do you think you need to make?
I would just say like 400.
How many 24-year-old men do you make $400,000 legally?
I know maybe like 1, but definitely not very many.
Legally?
Yes.
What does he do for a living?
He works in like a venture capital firm. He's like the program director, so.
At 24?
Yes. Sorry, 26. But you know, in that area.
Okay. So, you see the first thing? You said you were dating older, but the kind of money you're talking about, how old do you think a man needs to be to make $400,000 a year? Average age.
Smoke detector.
Like 50.
In his 40s.
48.
In his late 30s, 40s, or 50s. So.
Okay.
Okay. So, are you looking to marry a man who's 40?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind.
See, this is that selling talk. See, you wouldn't mind because he has the money. It wouldn't be.
No, I don't think that's it. I genuinely, I feel like I'm a bit younger. I've always kind of talked to older men, so it wouldn't be like out of the ordinary for that song so bad.
Right. But, so do older men approach you?
Yes.
But you've never dated one?
No.
So listen to what you're saying. I want that lifestyle that a man would have to be at least in his 40s to afford. And then he's going to have to make himself in the top 5% of earners in the country. I mean, to make $400,000 a year, you're in the top 5%, almost the top 1%. You're talking about, you know, I know men that make that kind of money. I don't even want to get into my past, but anywho, and yet you've never dated one. So, what do you bring to a man of that age and that level of income, that level of maturity, gravitas? What do you bring to him?
as I mentioned before, but
I'm just be honest though.
I don't have.
Let me just ask that. I mean, somebody my age, what do I need with your network at 20 years old?
Nothing.
You need my network. I don't need your network.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
And that's the questions I'm trying to get you ladies to start asking.
Right.
See, ma'am, you're asking for an extremely small fraction of men. And
with Squarespace, you can do more than just build a website. You can build a business. Event planners and interior design.
Why do you need that? Because you want to homeschool.
I mean, the thing is, I genuinely don't feel like I need that, but
you do need it if you want to live in Buckhead. See, what it is you're saying is, you didn't say I would be all right living in the lower income part of town. You want a upper middle class or lower upper class lifestyle. I mean, you expect to own a car, right? What kind of car would you expect to drive you and your children in?
Like a Porsche truck.
You're laughing. But here's the thing. I need you ladies to start asking yourself, what do I bring to a man who's making $400,000 a year, can afford to put me in a house in the neighborhood that I'm in right now, driving a Porsche truck? What do you bring? Because that's what you want. And I'm
get out the way, dear.
And I'm not judging it. What I'm asking you is what value do you bring to him? And what these first two calls have kind of shown is you ladies don't really do that a good job in understanding men at the level you wants.
What he needs.
So how do you expect that to? Good night, I'm gonna mute you. Because Godiva, you were saying that I'm good at basically inspiring and giving and loving. How do you guys expect to get chosen first?
Okay, well, I expect to get chosen first because I'm teachable. I'm a very good learner. And, yeah.
Why did you say you dated a high value man before? Why didn't he keep you?
To be honest,
yeah, be honest.
He had been divorced, and it kind of went topsy-turvy when it came to talks of like marriage. One minute he was serious, the next minute wasn't, and so I had to walk away from that situation.
Oh, you left him after how long?
It was about a year and a half.
But you knew he was divorced within the first month of dating.
On the first date.
So that can't be. So you left him because he.
No. So what I'm saying is, basically, on our first date, he let me know like he had been married previously, and I got very honest because a lot of people shy away from telling you those kind of things. So.
No, they don't.
Oh, really?
No, they don't.
Oh.
My group I got 600 people in the group, and every man in there wants to be married.
No, I'm saying that he had been married.
And I have been basically men who want to marry aren't shy about talking about marriage or divorce or anything.
Okay.
What you're kind of showing is that you don't really, you have some preconceived notions about, because you said men are this way, men are that way, and basically sounds to me, listen. Just because men who want to marry know they want to marry and they go into it. Did he say he wanted to get married, or did he say he was open to marriage?
He said he wants to be married again.
All right. he wanted to be married again. And were you guys dating one another exclusively?
In the beginning, no. But within the second or third month, it became exclusive.
All right. And he wanted to get married. Did he say he wanted to marry you?
Nope. That's what I'm saying. I just didn't realize. For him, at least, I can't speak for every man. I just started to realize it wasn't as serious as I thought it was. And I kind of felt like the rebound, like he had just gotten divorced.
All right, ma'am. Let me stop you. Because, again,
This
is on you. Because if the man said he wanted to be married and you guys weren't dating exclusively for the first 2 or 3 months, why did you date a man exclusively?
Granger knows that if you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, you go to great lengths. And some
2 or 3 months later, who did not want to marry you? Who said he wanted to be married?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can honestly say that I made a mistake with that relationship. I went so
that's
long.
fine, but what I'm trying to get you to also understand is I don't think you really get. He may have been a higher earner, but that doesn't necessarily put him into the category of the guys I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, I'm not really hearing that you're teachable and these things, but that's still. I mean, are you openly out there trying to compete and get a husband?
Yes, pre-COVID, I would make sure that I go out and everything like that, get dressed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is why, but you're gonna have to do more.
Yes, I've been looking.
You're gonna have to do much more because you're. I got a 20-year-old woman on, and that's her picture. She's very attractive. That's your competition. Y'all still talking about the same caliber of man. And I don't really sense the sense of urgency with a lot of women, black women in particular, about finding this elite level husband that you all seem to want. And honestly, you don't even seem to know him. He's just a wallet and a fantasy, but I'm willing to talk about it. You can speak, Jordan. Go ahead. Hold on. Let me go ahead and put you guys. Hold on. Let me put you two on mute for a second. Because we're going to. Sure. Hold on. Let me go ahead and mute you for a second.
All right, guys. So that's going to be the ending of this video. What I loved here was within these back-to-back calls, these women are, they have a difference in age, but still, they're looking for the same man. And what do we notice? Two women are sitting out here looking for the same man, and what they both have in common is they don't really know how to get this man or what this man is going to actually require. They only have their standards and their wants and needs. And there has to be a time in which women come to a relationship or come to another man with something other than demands. Because yes, men know what they have to be. We men know exactly what we have to be. Do you know what you have to be? Do you know what you have to offer? Do you know how to make yourself different, how to make yourself appealing? And that has been lost these days because a lot of women believe that everything will be served up on a platter to them. Not only do they believe that they're just going to find men and men are just going to be flocking towards them, but they also believe the high quality and the top tier men are also going to be doing the same. When you have a plethora of competition, why would he choose you? And then if you make the wrong mistakes earlier on in your life, and then you get a bit older, and then a woman who's much more beautiful than you are didn't make all the mistakes you made, now you're competing with her. She may be younger. So this highlights the importance, or the lack of importance, one or two things, that women really don't care about what a man wants and how important it is to be a high value man, because it could be from 18 to 30 or 40, they're all looking for the same person.
I'm looking for the same man.
They're all looking for the same person. Haven't dealt with many, still being drug and swung around, but still looking for the same person. Everyone, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Something new is happening at Cox. Now when you get Cox Internet and mobile, the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed.
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and power outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room within 3 minutes, and uses 98.7% less energy than your AC. It was invented by a former rocket engineer from Houston.
Stop
and it's now
lying.
taking the U.S. by
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I am okay. How old are you?
I'm 50. I'm 52.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be 53 in December 31st. Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about?
Okay, so you said more or less. I think fair strangers are proper, but you understand that attraction is based on how you look and then get what you want is based on how you look. I'll take this.
Whoa,
I agree
whoa.
with what you're saying. My feeling is this: if a man is not interested
Oh,
in
shit.
average women, why do they leave? Impregnate them? Why do they get themselves tied and leave their children with these women? I've seen it, and it's a
Hold on. Say, how long am I talking about?
about 4 weeks.
Over here, I deal strictly with facts and statistics above anything else.
That's correct.
Okay. So you said if men don't want to marry these average women, why are they getting pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's first start off with the fact that 54% of black men are single and childless. So,
And I guess that.
hold on. 54% of black men have no children. 30% of black men are married. And the children that come out of that marriage are exempted from your statement.
That is correct.
So that gives us 54 and 30. That's 84. That means that full 80% of the children being made in the black community are being made by less than 20% men. So my question, to answer your question is, why are women having children with men with multiple children who aren't married? And then women like you asking, why are the women picking them?
You got me there, Kevin.
Goddamn right I did.
You got me there.
You came in with that same old talking point that men are leaving babies everywhere. And you should
No, not.
man, 54% of black men are childless, so you can't, why are these men doing it? What men are doing what?
No, I wasn't making an accusation to that. Maybe it's how I misspoke, and I'm sorry about that.
No, it is an accusation. You said if these men don't want these average women, then why are they leaving them with babies? That is an accusation that black men are having sex with black women and leaving them with babies, and they're average. That's not